Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today. Well, Diabeloop is a young independent company created in 2015, whose mission is to automate diabetes treatment for all persons living with type 1 diabetes. And I am Stephanie. I'm also very independent, but I'm less young. At least I'm a less young T1D because I was diagnosed at 35 years old. And I work for Diabeloop for 3 years now, coming from a whole different world, but I wanted also to participate in unloading T1D's mental burden. That's why I joined.
Wonderful. And I can tell you from my personal experience, but also from the experience, I think, of many people on the patient advocacy front, it is always great to see people with diabetes work on, I don't even want to call it the other side, but work within industry, because it creates this bond of mutual understanding, which is so important and which sometimes is lost on some of these levels. Stephanie, we already had the opportunity, I mean the dedoc Voices, to meet with you and your CEO and your head of algorithm and development, because the dedoc Voices program actually runs separate events, and one of the events is our networking event where you as our corporate partner and the other corporate partners, Novo Nordisk and Ascensia, could present your side of the story, and we had a good discussion going on there. You're even running your own webinar for patient advocates within EASD. So what I am interested in is Diabeloop has had quite a strong history of collaborating not only with people with diabetes, but you've actually been collaborating with people from the open source community, from the DIY APS front, from the We Are Not Waiting movement. I find that very, very interesting. Could you explain why and what it has maybe helped you with?
Yeah, sure. For Diabeloop, it was important. I want to say from day one, but I think it's even before day one that people joining the Diabeloop team started talking to people with diabetes and to the DIY community. We don't want to dismiss any voices because we think that it brings us so valuable insights on what people with diabetes are waiting for in a closed loop, because we aim to bring a compliant and industrial solution, okay, but personalized closed loop system. So we want to hear all the voices. So of course we had focus group, but we had personal and professional conversations with people with diabetes, with people within the DIY community. We had kind of an exchange for them to tell what they are expecting from a closed loop, and we keep on doing that, and we want to keep on doing that for our further developments as well.
Wonderful. And there's actually amongst the group of more than 50 dedoc Voices, of more than 50 diabetes advocates that we fund with this scholarship program, there is quite a bit of loopers in that community. And I'm sure there's a lot more watching right now out there on Facebook Live. So I think everybody is really interested to see what's coming from your side, and let's say whether you can keep up with what we have developed in the DIY world. But it's two different worlds that work very much together, and this is always important for me to state that while the DIY movement, the We Are Not Waiting movement, might have, made the path possible for solutions like you to come, it is important that we now work together on improving that. Work with you and you working with us. This is great.
Yeah, sure. If I can just add something,
yeah.
Because it could seem a little bit shallow to say, yes, we work with people with diabetes, but actually, just to give an example, the design of our system, there are some features of this system that have been directly inspired by feedbacks and requests from people with diabetes. So something that doesn't exist anywhere, and that we put in because it met a need.
Yes, and there will be a presentation later on by Timothy Fremont from the Open Diabetes Project, which is a project that I am myself involved in about DIY APS, but we'll get to that later. I have a last question for you. Why did you as a company decide to sponsor the dedoc Voices? It's something that I am of course interested in, but probably also everybody else on the call.
Yeah, sure. Well, there are two main reasons. First, Eric, our CEO, and everybody at Diabeloop, we strongly believe in the voice of person with diabetes, as I said before. So it is super important that you can assist and report on diabetes congresses, because we feel that you're the first concerned. And if I may add, I feel on a personal level that people with diabetes are the first concerned. And then secondly, of course, we are a young medtech company, and supporting this program via this approach is a tremendous opportunity to present ourselves to you and to spread the word. So thanks again for giving us this opportunity.
Well, thank you for helping us, and this would not be possible without you and the other corporate partners, Novo Nordisk and Ascensia.